Hey. Hello. Thank you so much for coming and welcome. I've got some thanks to do first. If I don't do the thanks first, I will forget someone, and then I'll think about that for the rest of time. So I just have to consult my notes and make sure I don't forget anyone. And thereafter, it doesn't matter if I forget anything, because I think, well, from my point of view, it's getting everyone together that's the main thing. And if I forget to say one of these points, you'll probably forgive me. So welcome. Thanks first to Cyril Jackson for hosting us tonight here, Cyril Jackson Senior Campus, where I taught in 2007 and 2008. And I intended to teach here again, but didn't. And what happened was we went to Italy. The family went to Italy in 2009. Brilliant time to go. We booked the tickets in late 2008, just before the global financial crisis hit. And the Aussie dollar then went into a free fall, and we went to Italy. In Italy, towards the end of the year, I decided to apply back to Cyril Jackson. I sent my application back to Cyril Jackson, and it went somewhere in the Department of Education and didn't get where it was meant to go, which was perhaps partly my fault for not following it up, and partly the department's fault. And I went to Melville instead, and then I went to other places, and I'm currently at Communicare Academy in Kenwick and loving it, so things work out that way. But this is a great school, and I was in the Intensive English Centre here, and it's a really rich place to work. I didn't intend to come here either. It's a bit like that. I didn't intend to come here. I had majored in drama teaching, and I was looking for a job in drama. We're in a theatre here. And I was looking for a job in drama, but at the same time I was doing some relief teaching. And I, through various contacts, got a position, a day here teaching a limited schooling class. That means kids of any age from 14 to 25, who only had up to 3 years of schooling in their lives because of their dislocation and where they come from. And I got this class very early on in the year. It was like week 2 or something like that, and they just blew me away. So I actually went to Chris O'Brien, the deputy of the IEC here, and said to her, if you have a position come up, I want to apply for it. And she did, and I got it. And I stayed here for 2 years, and it was really fantastic. And while I was here, I started writing this book, but I forgot to thank people, so let me just go back a bit. Thanks to Karen Reid, the principal here at Cyril Jackson. Thanks to Ella Amor-Robertson, the current IEC deputy. Thank you to Libby Hinton, who owns this space, the drama head. Beautiful space it is. We used to, once a week, the IEC students would gather in here with their teachers, and we'd do singing, which basically just meant the Beatles. Beatles hits, which is what you do when you're trying to find a song that everyone knows a little bit of. And thanks to Tamika Byrne here, who also assisted. So I just told a little story about how I came here. Particularly wanted to thank Chris O'Brien, who was the deputy then, for giving me that chance and giving me... I actually got the class that I relieved on, so I was very happy about that. Who else do I have to thank? I have to thank, I've got a note here, T-Bags. T-Bags stands for Thomas, Bonnie, Andrea, Genevieve and Sean, but I don't have to thank me. I thank Andrea, whose support is always highly critical. And Thomas, Genevieve and Bonnie, she's gone, all of whom have had some sort of input into the formative stages of this book. Thank you to Tashi Hall. There's Tashi over there doing the video. Only the best for us. Tashi won the Australian Musical Industry Awards for videographer and photographer this year. Thank you, Tashi. Yeah. And charged me last year's rates, so that was really good of her. Thank you. And I want to thank a few teachers. So I'm going to stop there for a minute. It's very important. There's quite a few teachers here, and they'll know what I mean. It's very important for a teacher to have a teacher. If you're a teacher, you don't have a teacher, and I mean always have a teacher, then you can tend to dry up. You have to have a teacher yourself. Otherwise, you don't sort of, you get out of touch with how learners learn and how the system works. So I've had a teacher throughout the time that I've been teaching, or more than one. Digby Hill was my teacher for many years. I haven't been to voicemail, which is the men's choir I'm usually in. You can never leave voicemail, so I sort of feel as if I'm still there. But Digby Hill was my teacher for many, many years. And so once a week, Digby would, crucify all of us with his abilities and make us work really hard. And so that's really good. So once a week, as a teacher, I was fronting up as a student, and having to learn how to learn and having to be corrected by somebody else. And for the last couple of years, Sarah, I haven't been going to voicemail because voicemail, for whatever reason, is Monday night. And as a teacher, you can't go to bed late on a Monday night. But I have had my Italian teacher, Sarah. If you need to learn Italian, go to Sarah. And so once a week, we're fronting up to Sarah, and Sarah's been rolling her eyes at me and trying to get me to learn Italian, which is really difficult for me for some reason. Never mind. All credit to Sarah, nevertheless, for trying. And I think I'm making some progress. Little, as time goes on. And the last person I want to thank today is Colin, who's sitting here, Colin Beasley, because Colin, he was probably in good spirits or something when I asked him, but I asked him to proof my book, and he did, it assiduously, as I knew he would. I've been singing on Colin's left arm for a decade perhaps, and so I knew that Colin would take that attitude, and he did, and I've mentioned inside the book that help was pretty invaluable. So thank you, Colin.